Welcome to Golden Owls TV. I'm here with Regina McDuffie, City Manager for the City of Brunswick. Welcome.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I am well. The first thing I thought of when I saw you was pretty in pink.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I was thinking, I wear a lot of red. We just had the holidays, so I figured this is sort of Valentine's-ish, but not too much. So,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
nice.
yeah. Thank you. You too.
Well, we are just started off the year with the bang, of course, with the city. It's just been nonstop. Got just a tremendous amount of things going on and upcoming for the year. So we're glad to be in a new year and just really trying to keep things afloat and in shape and moving forward.
Yes. So continuing with the projects, ongoing projects, maybe entering into some new projects as well. Um, what about, there was something you were wrapping up in January and February.
Yeah, well, just to, I guess, give a shout out. We thought the Christmas lighting was a good success downtown during December. I'm excited that the Jubilee that was held in January, sort of a revival of that event, uh, went off just tremendously well, had tremendous attendance. I think people really enjoyed it. I had to be out of town that day, so I was not there to enjoy all the Brunswick stew. I hate that because I have been trying to sample Brunswick stew since I got here,
Uh,
just to see if it holds up to what I'm used to. But I was unable to attend. But I talked with several people who went to the event, and they were very pleased with how it came out. We have I guess, a barbecue event coming up during February, barbecue cook-off. So I'm excited about that and hope to be able to sample some good barbecue during that event. And truly, based on the number of people who came downtown during the Christmas, the number of people who attended Porch Fest in November, and people who have come to Jubilee, it's just been really exciting to see the number of people who are, enjoying our downtown atmosphere.
I agree. It's been great. I've been hearing so many positive things, like you said, Porch Fest, Christmas lights, the parade, Jubilee, now the barbecue. I mean, I think it's almost becoming a little tourist destination, even though I know residents are enjoying it as well. I feel like, it's going to become sort of more like a tourist destination too.
Yeah, and it's exciting for us, and for me, it's always, development, economic impact, just people being in the community. It brings energy to the community. It brings, just a great vibe of, you know, vibrance to the community. So, I love those things, and I love the fact that we do have good participation for those types of events. I'm excited. The Bridge Walk, I think, is coming up in February, and although I'm in recovery, I still want to try and participate in that. So I'm going to attempt it, I think, but I hope to make it up that hill and down.
Oh, wow. Well, that's a big challenge.
It
It's
is. It
yeah.
is indeed. Yeah.
Um,
So go ahead.
well, I was going to say one thing I remembered, the splash pad. Is that?
Yeah, yeah. We have a lot of, things that we hope to accomplish the first half of the year, and then moving into the second. I guess I'll start off by talking about we are doing a retreat with the commissioners in 1st of March. So that'll be coming up, right after February. So kind of starting off, the city as well as the county is in a process of updating the comp plan, the comprehensive plan that we have to do every 5 years. And we'll start talking about that. And basically, it is an outline of what we want to accomplish going forward. We have a work program that will update. In that, the work program had, the last time it was updated, had over 60 items of actions that needed to be taken. And most of them have been accomplished, are the ones that are ongoing are moving forward. So I feel very comfortable and confident that we are, planning our work and working our plan, which I think is something that, we as a city, we should strive to do. Everything we do should be planned out, so that we can kind of anticipate what those impacts will be on the community. When you think about development, you want development to occur, but you also want it to occur where it's not adversely impacting the community. And I think right now we have a lot of different things that are going on that hopefully will be a positive impact to the community. You mentioned the splash pad. That's a grant that we had gotten to move the splash pad over to Orange Park. That work has begun. We were putting in a bathroom facility that included an equipment room for the splash pad equipment. So that work has begun and we're moving forward. And that should be done before our kids are out of school. We also have the fitness court project that we're moving forward. And that should also be done before the about mid-spring, by April. So those are some outdoor things that we're doing to improve our community and improve our recreational atmosphere here in the community. Those things are moving forward. And speaking of recreation, of course, recreation is the big issue this year for the city because we are moving that administration back to the city. So we're in the process of hiring a recreation director and developing and reestablishing a recreation department for the city. So that's going to be a heavy task, but it's one that, it's very important to the citizens, very important to the commission for us to get that done.
Right. That sounds great. We look forward to hearing all about that. Where is the recreation office? Will it be in City Hall? Will it be down by
No, it probably will be in Howard Coffin Park.
Okay,
I
right.
think that's where recreation has kind of been centered and focused. Mm-hmm. So it will have oversight of the H Street Center, which the city operates as well. And hopefully we are looking at getting a grant, which we were supposed to get a grant announcement during January, but since it's the last day and it hasn't happened, not sure when they'll be awarding the grants. But we have a grant that we're looking at to try and upgrade the ball fields at Howard Coffin Park and upgrade the lighting so that we can use those facilities for our recreation athletic programs going forward.
Right. Yeah. I like what you're saying. That sounds great. And the theme really is recreation. And as we talked about in one of the earlier shows, making the city of Brunswick really a green city, a great place to come visit. And there's all this great stuff going on downtown, but all the recreation, the way the mayor talked about how it used to be, there was baseball and football and all sorts of things going on. So I am excited to see, the city bring it back to the way it used to be.
Yeah, we are excited to try and, have the participation from the local community, from, the citizens of Brunswick, and support all the activities, recreational activities going forward. That's going to be something that is very important to our, just development throughout the community.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're working on, the various different parks, and some of the work, slowed down because of supply and demand. It was, we're still suffering from the supply shortage from things being shipped, things being delayed. So, we're having to deal with those things. But moving forward, recreation is very important. The other thing that we have coming up is our transit, which again, you'll hear a lot about the planning for transit as well. We had a meeting with the county earlier in the month to review our transit plan, and we're asking them to buy in to support financially for our transit plan. And this is something, just as very important to the economic stability of our community. You think about transportation, and we want it to get people to jobs, but we also want it to get people to activities, people to their medical, appointments, people to shopping areas. So economics can be improved by people having better transportation access. People getting to work, being able to stabilize their transport to work. We think it's going to have a tremendous impact and get people back, comfortable working in the community. So I think, to me, it's one of the most important aspects of just bringing our standard of living up in the community and providing access to people, better access for jobs and transport. We hope we are going to try and make it affordable so it's not costing a lot. People can buy a pass where they can, use it regularly and it won't be too much. I mean, it costs a lot to have a car. You think about, maintenance of a car, the payments of a car, insurance for a car, those are very expensive items during the month. So if we can provide that transportation at a more affordable, rate, then more people will have better access to transportation.
Right. So in essence, a bus system that would maybe go from downtown out to the mall or down to just around the Brunswick.
Well, actually, we're proposing a microtransit system, which is more like a public Uber system. And I don't
Oh,
want to use Uber too much, but it's kind of like an on-demand system. It's not going to be this fixed system where you have to catch it here and go there. It's
okay.
going to be, pick me up here and take me where I need to go.
Mhm.
So I want it to be more effective to get people to their places, more efficiently. It's a ride share program. That's the difference between it and an Uber, is that you have more people, transporting at one time than normal.
Okay, nice. Well, we can't wait to see about that. And speaking of transportation, and I know that's a big thing coming up, but also in the meantime, you've been working on the roads. I know there's been, like, for example, on Gloucester Street, there's been lots of changes there and lane changes. And talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, well, the Gloucester Street project is a DOT project, and what we were trying to accomplish is to have some of the traffic calming as you come into the downtown area, and that's why it was changed to 3 lanes versus the 4 lanes that it was at. Hoping that people will slow down and be in a more, I guess, calm and reduced speed area as you come into downtown, and as are in the downtown area. As you go out, there is still a lot of work that's going to be done out at the Highway 617 intersection, and there's a lot of work that's going to be done right at the Lanier Gloucester intersection. So we still have transitional work that's going to be done at both of those areas to try and mitigate some of the traffic that's, caused by the school traffic at peak times and then work traffic. So that's still something yet to be done, and have those projects lined up for this year. But the Gloucester Street, I think it's taken a little bit of getting used to the angled parking, which is providing more parking for downtown. But, as people come in, they are a little bit, it's been a little bit to get used to, which, anytime you change something, it's going to take a period of adjustment. So,
Right. I was going to say any change at all, good or bad, is gonna take some time. But yeah, the city is really moving forward with so many different projects, and that's just one most recent one. What else?
yeah, we've resurfaced a lot of our streets and tried to, get the streets a little bit better as well. We got, the SPLOST is coming up, so we got a lot of projects that are being planned right now, and just in the planning phase of when they'll get done and how we'll, once the money comes in, how we'll use it going forward. So we have a lot of different things going on. I think the biggest thing also is the development out on Highway 17 where the old hotel was. and all of those trailers that were out there, and that old hotel that's been sitting there for 20 years, as an eyesore, that's being redeveloped. I think, the community is looking for what the impact will be, but hopefully we can, again, through our planning, through our adjusting, we can make sure that that development, kind of comes into the community and the community can adjust to, that impact as well.
Right, right. That sounds like it almost like a trickle down effect. Things are going on, projects are happening. I feel like that makes the people want to develop and want to come in and want to redo things all the way downtown, out, as you said, the old hotel and beyond. So that's exciting.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about, because right now also is the time that our state legislature is in session. And, even though we don't feel the impact of it in the community necessarily, there's a lot that goes on with the legislative session that the city and the city people are involved in. I attended a conference last week for our state association, the Georgia Municipal Association, where we visited the Capitol, we talked to our state legislators, we developed policies that we want to push forward, and we talked about things that could impact the city, based on how they are voted on or how the legislation comes through. One item that I think of importance is they have a legislation that wants to increase truck weights. And, people, of course, in their daily lives, they don't think about truck weights, although we all see the big trucks on the street. We see, them on the highways. We encounter them at different places. And you don't think about, the importance of how much the truck is carrying and that kind of thing. But that's part of the legislation. They're asking for truck weights to be increased. And for a city, trucks on our roads is not, they are very heavy, they're very weighty, and they tear up the roads, and they pose, sometimes not so safe situations, when they're in, local streets. So it's a great concern for us, how much trucks, the weight that they're carrying, and how safe that is for our community. So that's one of the, legislative things that we're looking at this year. And there's several others that impact, going forward, the city operations and how things are handled between the cities and the state.
Yes, that'll be interesting to see what state projects come through and how it affects the city. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, so that's something. We have a Capitol visit. The chamber organizes a Capitol visit every year, and that'll be in February 20th and 21st. Will be leaders from the city and the county and the development authority and the chamber will be attending meetings and go up to the Capitol and kind of talk with the state representatives. We'll talk with State Department heads and talk with people, about concerns that we have for the city, about, resiliency, about erosion on the beaches, things that they can provide assistance financially or grant assistance for us to maintain, our environment here in the community.
Right. Sounds like so many important meetings and leaders coming together to really figure out what's due from here and how this at the state level affects our coast. So
one of the other important things that we're going to be talking about is they at the state level, and again, it's important to know how when state legislation is passed, sometimes it's passed for one reason, but it impacts another, aspect of operations for the city. There's some legislation that they're looking at right now that deals with code enforcement. It deals with building design and cost. A lot of talk is about affordable housing and how much it costs to build a house. and whether or not, some of the fees that are charged by cities and counties and state and local and federal government is causing those prices to escalate. And that's one of the things that we, will be talking about as well. We want to make sure that we are able to have input and control of certain aspects of development in our community. And, the state is looking at how they can make things better. But sometimes when they do something at the state level, again, it may not impact every community the same. Some communities it may help, and some communities it may hurt. So our association, the Georgia Municipal Association, they work really hard. They have a legislative team that works daily at the state capitol to ensure that, everybody's interest is looked at and everybody's voice is input. So I have the opportunity to work on that policy committee for the state. So I get regular updates. I'm participating weekly in a meeting that gives information about what's going on. And I'm able to represent Brunswick by, giving them information that is important to us. When you talk about building and, whether what needs to happen with the building, we have to ensure that, buildings are resilient for hurricane activity or bad weather and for flooding, because we're prone to flooding in our area. And those are things that are important to us, but may not be important to people in Middle Georgia or Atlanta. So we have to be, voicing our opinions so that they will understand how things impact us in this community as opposed to other communities in the state.
Yes, yes. Thank you for explaining that. And thank you for representing our city of Brunswick. You do a great job. And thank goodness you're up there representing what we need and how it affects our coast and our city, because it is different. What we need here on the coast is totally different than Middle Georgia, for example. So thank you for your representation. I just had a quick question about homelessness. I know you have the big homelessness summit. I know that's been a big topic for the city and the county. At the state level, do they talk about homelessness? Is there anything they're working on that would help us here?
Yeah, and thank you for bringing that up, because that is on the forefront of something that we're trying to address right now. As a matter of fact, in our last meeting, the commission approved for us to provide funding for homelessness prevention assistance through the Community Action Authority. And I thought, that was just a one step or one item that we can do to try and help at this point. But that particular problem is so multifaceted. We are also looking at shelters, because during the summit, one of the things that was brought out was that we don't have shelters for families in the community. When there's a mother and children, or there's a whole family that's homeless, we don't have temporary or transitional housing for them. Most of what's provided in the community right now is for individuals and adult, men and women. And then we have Safe Harbor, which Safe Harbor does a wonderful job of handling youth and children and students in our community who need home, provisions for shelter and that kind of thing. So there's a lot of things being done in the community right now. And we're just trying to collectively get those together so that we can make sure that the people who need the services are, given the proper information so that they can obtain services that are out there. But we have some ongoing meetings with the homeless from the Homeless Summit, and we will continue to work with those work groups that were established to work on mental health, to work on the chronic homelessness, to work on homeless prevention, and on regulation and enforcement through our government. So there's a lot going on with the homeless, project right now. And I'm excited to say that, I think we are moving forward. And one of the biggest things that I have, I keep saying is important in this community is the fact that the county and the city are working on this together. I've encountered a lot of other communities because, we talk to other communities, we talk to other people, and a lot of the communities, the city is working on it, but the county's not, or they're kind of working in silos separate of each other. So I think it's really important that we are collectively working on this, and the county and city are cooperatively, doing the work that's getting done.
Right. It seems like working together, you'll get twice as much done as if you were just working alone. So,
Right.
Right. That's great to hear. That's great to hear. So,
Well, I normally don't toot my own horn, but I
oh,
was excited to, and I need to get this. I was actually, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but I was actually given where's my
yeah,
camera?
there it is.
Given
25 years service.
a plaque from the International City County Managers Association for 25 years of service in local government, which I was
Wow.
excited about. I've been in local government for over 25 years, but I was excited that they had recognized me for 25 years of service.
That's excellent. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It made me feel a little old, but
Nah. I think you need to put that flag right behind you on that wall so that we can see it. Do you see behind you there?
yeah,
Right.
I definitely will put it up. I just got it yesterday and really excited that to receive something like that from that's the national association. So I was really excited to be recognized for the national association.
Wow. Congratulations. That's wonderful. That's excellent.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, well, we're very thankful, like I said, to have you in Brunswick because you have so much experience that you bring to our city, and like you're just take off running. It's not a learning curve. You know what you're doing, and you're able to even take it to the next level, the state level, and really be represent at the state level as well. So we're very thankful, and yeah, wish you luck in this new year.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. We got a lot going on. Definitely never, a dull moment here. We always have something, happening in the community. And thankfully, it's a lot of positive. We have our challenges as well, but we also have, a lot of positive things going on in the community. We, will continue to work on, crime in the area. Again, I mentioned one of the grants which we were working on, but we also have another grant that public safety. So we are moving forward, in every aspect to try and improve the standard of living and, the environment here in the city of Brunswick.
Right, right. And we appreciate you filling us in. It's so helpful to have these monthly updates to really let us know that all that is happening and all the work behind the scenes to get these projects up and running. So, so that's great. And we're thankful and we look forward to the next show.
Okay, well, thank you so much for the opportunity. Again, I hope that the community is informed by, what we cover on the show. And, anytime anyone has any questions about what goes on, we encourage them to go to the city's website or call. We are happy to provide information, regarding all of the things that are happening in the city. I want to also mention we probably will be doing a state of the city, state of the county address in March. So that'll be coming up as well. So as you can see, the list is unending in terms of the things that are happening.
Yes, yes. It's a long list, but you've got a great staff there and I know they can handle all of it. And we can't wait to hear the update in March, the state of address, and we look forward to it.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Avery. I enjoy meeting with you and enjoy doing the show. Thank you.
You're very welcome. We do too. And we'll see you next time.
Okay, happy Valentine's.
Oh, thank you. You too.
All right, bye-bye.